Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. It's Thursday morning, which means we are almost done with the week. And I would like to give you some pep talk before we finish this week out. And one of those things that I wanted to talk to you about was preparing your mind for greatness. Because it's really important that we do that. I just want you to know that we sometimes we don't realize that there is preparation for, obviously a lot of things, whether you are studying or you are, researching or whatever it is. But how do you prepare your mind for that, for greatness? Well, one way is, what are you saying to yourself, right? What are you speaking out of your mouth? What are you saying? That is number one important, is to what it is that you're saying. Because you know what? I look at it this way. No one else is going, people that talk to you, yes, they can speak to you, they can, influence you in many ways, but you are always going to listen to you. Isn't that right? It's so true. We're always going to listen to ourselves. So really, who has the most important voice in our life? Well, it's you. So what are you saying? What are you not saying? Or what can you say future-wise? What can you do now to help yourself become, something that is much greater than where you are right now? Or, it's like, what I love is that we all set goals. And if you haven't, start setting them. Because why wouldn't you? You need to set goals so that you have something to look forward to, something in your future to work towards. If you are setting goals, you don't want to set unrealistic goals, because when you do that, that can be really hard at times, only because you set unrealistic goals and then you feel so sad or depressed or down when you cannot fulfill those goals. So you don't want to do that either. But you do want to set those goals, and you want to design strategies on how to get to the attaining of the goal. Those are most important for you. I'm looking at my notes because I have so many that I want to share with you today. So it's really important that we get through all of this today. Also, too, a lot of people, including myself at times, have a problem with courage. Like, we don't feel very courageous, and we don't feel like we can just walk up to whoever and and say, hey, can I get an interview with you? Hey, I'd love to work with you. It's funny because we know people like that, but most of the time we're not that person. Where you're like, gosh, I wish I had the guts to just walk up to that person and say, hey, I'd love to, get to know you better. I'd love to know what you do in your business. I'd love to be able to help you, with what you're doing. What's interesting is that Butch and I, we get emails all the time from people that want to work with us. And so some of them you could just see are very cautious. And then some are very bold in your face, like, hey, I would be a big/good asset to your company. And, it's like, the thing about it is that we'll look at the ones that are more bold and more aggressive, because we feel like, wow, they really want this, as opposed to the ones that might be a little more timid in that situation, or intimidated, but timid. So, again, this is like a part of your pep talk, and being courageous in everything that you do. I'll tell you something. If you're not the one that's out, talking up your company, or talking up your product, or really pursuing what it is that, that you feel like you have been led to do, because it's just in your heart and you can't wait to get it out, you're going to be the one that also is going to be the cheerleader for it. You're going to be the one that's going to be the promoter, right? You're the one that's going to be the basically your marketer. And that's why we got to make sure that what's coming out of your mouth is not like you're embarrassed of your product, but you're excited about your project, right? But I will say, there's like a whole other side of this, which would be a side of somebody being really cocky about what, like, hey, I've got this, I know it all, like, no one's going to be better than me. And you're like, what? All right, whatever. That kind of an attitude. Yeah, we probably wouldn't hire someone like that because it's annoying. It's annoying when somebody is like, I guess more prideful. That's more like it. Not so much, we love someone that is very bold, and really believes in what they're doing. That's really important, that someone really believes in what they do and they know, like, I know I can do the job. Like, this is a no-brainer. This is great. And then, it's like synergy happens. We get excited, we're in the room together and all this is energy's going forth and everybody's excited and it's like awesome, right? That's why you want to keep that kind of stuff going, and being courageous is one of those. And also too, it's like you have to realize how valuable you are to a company, or how valuable you are in what you're creating, right? What you're creating, and how valuable you are to the consumer. That's really important because, see, sometimes we don't realize that our product has so much value to it. And really, what makes your product stand out, or what makes you stand out? If you're selling and marketing yourself, what's standing out about you? Listen, there are lots of strategies on how to market, how to get your stuff out there, SEO, Facebook ads and all that. But it's going to come down to you, your product, you/your product, your program, whatever it is. Is your program, are you ready? Because you could, just one bad, just a bad, like, no one would recommend your product, would be not good. It's like, I don't know how else to put it. I don't want to sound mean here. But one bad review, let's just put it out there. One bad review might stop your audience. For instance, like Airbnb. I've only had amazing Airbnbs. I've never had a bad experience. But I have friends who have. And I'm like, well, did you write a review? It was like, one of my friends was like, well, heck yes, I wrote a review. And I told him exactly how horrible it was. And then I have another friend that was like, no. And I'm like, you know what? That makes me mad, because I would want to know if an Airbnb that I was going to spend however much money on was going to be what it says. A girlfriend of mine, there was an Airbnb that she rented that was very expensive. And she's like, I wouldn't even put my feet on the floor. It was disgusting. And you're paying all this money and you won't even put your feet on the floor, like, without wearing shoes, because it was so disgusting and gross. You're like, what? And you did not give them a bad review. Well, I felt bad. No. See, I would be mad if I went on reviews and saw everybody just go, oh, it was nice. It was convenient. It was this and that. And then come to find out that it wasn't at all. And it was gross. Like, I would be angry at somebody and disappointed in somebody that did not tell the truth about that Airbnb. There's lots of ways now, that we can rate things, and we can tell people how what a great service it was. I'll tell you something. There is nothing better, and I mean this. There is nothing better than customer service. When you've got good customer service, you've got everything. Seriously. If you've got good customer service, that's all that matters. Customer service is really important, and it's really, and for me, that makes everything. I will spend more money if you're nice, and literally will want to spend less money if you're mean. Like, I want to spend more money because you're nice to me. I want to feel welcomed. I want to feel excited. I want to feel like you really do care about me. You may not, but at least, to your customers, it makes you feel like your customers feel like that you really do care about them. That's really important. So when you are being, so just know that your company has to have value to it. And also, if your company is you just have to know that you have value. If you've got information that you want to sell/share, let's say you want to be a coach or something, If you've got information that you know that other people need, and you want to share that, well, you got to know that your company has value to it. And so because of that value, you've got to think of it as everybody needs this. Like let's say it's like a travel thing, like a travel blog. Well, I know that anybody that travels needs to hear see my videos or my blog or whatever based on travel, because I've got some really good information that people could really glean from. So again, these are all those things that you just have to decide and settle in your own heart that you have value, that you are valuable, that you're qualified. That's a big thing. A lot of people don't feel like, especially when you're just starting out, you're like, I don't even know if I feel qualified to do this. Well, let me just say this. If you don't feel qualified, you probably should not do it. You're just not ready yet. And that's okay if you don't know that you're not ready yet. It really is. But being honest with yourself in that way is really important. Okay, maybe I'm not ready. That's important. Because when you don't know those things and you're just going based on, I don't know, maybe sometimes it's a friend that tells you you're really good, but you don't believe it yourself. Or you just really need the money. But you don't want to throw yourself out there when it's too soon. Because sometimes people won't give you a second chance. They're going to give you the one chance, and boy, you better hit it out of the park, because I ain't giving you a second chance. There are people like that, especially, when it comes to money, when it comes to somebody trusting you, whatever the product is, trusting you as the product, let's say you being the coach or whatever. And then, what else is it that you like? What other things are you looking towards to, for instance, are you going to do some kind of, partnerships with other people? Or do you plan on having a partner? That's another thing too that I really want to talk about. Having a partner, in your business, in your show, in your, whatever it might be, your coaching or whatever it is, your salon and all that stuff. Having a partner, you got to make sure that you guys are speaking the same language. You don't have to be identical twins, but you do have to have the same values. You're going to come from different places, I know, which is great. You need to, but different backgrounds, but you definitely need to have the same value, or you're going to be frustrated the whole time. Trust me, I know it's happened to me many times. So make sure that you guys share the same values, share the same, just the same quality on how you want to do things, how you want to present. It's like you have, your siblings, and, maybe you were the clean one, and then your younger or older sister was the dirty one, and you're like, oh, I was so frustrated my whole life. Or that's for the younger people. Or it might have been a roommate situation, right? Roommate in college, where you're like, oh, it drove me crazy because I wanted to keep the house clean, but I was cleaning up after them all the time. That drove me crazy, blah, 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 right? But the girl, the person's a great person, that's wonderful, but I don't want to live with them again. Well, the person might be a great person, but maybe you don't want to do business with them again. Now, fast forward into now you started a company and you've had a partner, and you have realized that you don't work well together. Or not just you don't work well together, but you definitely don't share the same kind of work ethic, the same kind of value, the same kind of integrity. So you got to really, really be careful on who you bring on your projects, because it's a marriage. Did you hear what I just said? Like, it is a marriage for sure. And so you're going to spend your time with that person. Do you like spending your time with that person? Butch and I do a podcast called Mad Hustle. And you got to listen to it. It's fun. We have a great time doing it. But one thing about that we just talked about recently is like, having that synergy between each other, and making sure that the person that you are working with, that you are partnering with, is actually someone that you would like to go on vacation with. I know you're like going, oh, really? That would also go for employees too. Like, do you dislike your employees that much that you wouldn't even want to spend any time outside the office with them? Maybe you don't even want to spend time in the office with them. That's probably not good. You want to be able to spend time with your employees because, I love this. My daughter works, or, Carly that's on her, she, works for a company that they say we don't hire employees, we hire family. And that is awesome. That is amazing. We hire family. And that's how I'd like to do it too. Because I want to be able to, help you let's say, something unfortunate happens in your family. I'd love to be able to help you. I'd love to be able to pray with you when things are not good. I'd like to be able to share my life with you. I don't want to be like, oh God, I'm going in the office. Please don't look at me. Please don't look at me. I don't even want to talk to them. That happens. And we want to go against it. We want to guard against that. We don't want that to happen. So that's why, like I said, you do want to, think about like-minded people that that you want to work with, and also be able to, have the same values, like we said earlier. That's really important. And so, I'll tell you something. Another thing that you can do in our pep talk with each other is I want you to be expecting like amazing opportunities for yourself. I mean, great opportunities, great, like huge doors to open for these great opportunities to come in and to completely change your company. Why not? I'm listening. Why wouldn't you want to? You do want to. You want them to be great opportunities so that you can share, with your family. You can share with your friends. You can share with your employees. These are great opportunities that will go down in history. Everything that you do, whether you're my age or you are, older or even younger, especially the younger ones, everything that you do is going to be a memory at your dinner table. Like for real. Like you're going to be having dinner with your friends, not your friends. Well, yes, your friends, but also your own family. So you've got, dinner with your family, dinner with your friends, and then you're like, oh yeah, and that time, blah, blah, blah happened. And when I first started my company, this happened. And when I was like in the middle of this and I didn't know where a door was going to open, and then all of a sudden this opportunity came. These are the stories that you're going to tell that are going to go down in history and somebody's going to learn from. I love that. That's so exciting. And that's what's happening. That has been happening actually the last like 10 years of Butch and mine's life. I mean, it's been so fun to be able to share with people and say like, look, I was under the whole, teaching of, experience was the great teacher. Well, I realize, yes, experience is a good teacher, but it doesn't have to be the only teacher. Like I can learn from your mistake and know not to go there. Did you just get what I said? Like literally, I can learn from your mistake and not have to go there myself and put myself through a lot of hell. Or I can also learn from your triumphs, from the times that you've done, like been super successful, and learn from that as well. Like it works both ways. So that's what's exciting about it, is that there'll be opportunities. There'll be opportunities for you to succeed. There'll be opportunities for you to succeed, but then something goes wrong and then you don't succeed in them, or, whatever. Or it just doesn't pan out the way you thought. But all of it is okay. It's going to go into the history book of, put your name there. It's going to be in your history book, which is a lot of fun to sit and tell your children, to tell your grandchildren, to tell your friends, when you're mentoring kids, to tell all the kids that you're mentoring. That's exciting because they learn from it. And while you are going through this, it's best if you journal, because then you can go back to your journal and go, wow, okay, I dealt with this, I dealt with that. And while I was dealing with all that, I wrote it all down. And now I know that I can recover. I recovered from it. You can recover from it. I like to write down everything, because even though, listen, we're growing every day. Butch and I never stop growing. We will never. If we do, then that means we're dead. So we are alive and we're growing every day. And I want to look back on something that maybe I put in my journal maybe 5 years ago, could have been 6 months ago, could even be a year ago, where like, let's say it was not such a great thing, but the sting is already gone. So it's like, it doesn't, really don't remember much about that. Hey, listen, those things happen because our hearts get healed pretty quick. But what would be awesome is that to have those experiences, so that now when I'm like maybe facing something, we're like, ay, what am I going to do? This isn't working out. I don't know what to do. Shoot. What should I do? And then I look back at my journal and go, oh, well, I dealt with something even worse than this, 6 months ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, whatever it might be. This life is awesome. It all depends on your attitude about it. It really does. So I just wanted to throw that at you, tell you to make sure that your attitude is great every day. Yes, there's going to be days where you're going to feel like someone just sucker punched you in the face. But you know what? You're going to get up and you're going to go to round 2. Like that, you're going to do that. You're going to win. You're going to last. So I just want you to know that you are going to win. You're successful. You're not a failure. You have value. And there's going to be many opportunities for you to succeed in this life, in your business. So thank you for listening. And we will see you next week on Vision Possible. And just remember, you got to look out because we're going to be doing a large group Zoom call where you can ask any questions. We will put the date and the time up on Facebook, so that you will know when to go or where to go and when to come on. And we can discuss all those details when you see that on our Facebook page. So thank you guys so much and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.